Hello everyone, welcome to Guelph Life. I'm Andrew Wood. On this episode, we spotlight an important program to the Guelph-Wellington area, Crime Stoppers. We've got a jam-packed show, so let's get this started. Our Ryan Manahan braved a windy and rainy day at the corner of Wellington and Edinburgh to speak with board members of Crime Stoppers Guelph-Wellington. Let's start this episode off with Board Vice Chair Dave Ellaway.
I'm here with Dave Ellaway. You're the Vice Chair with Crime Stoppers Guelph-Wellington. Thanks for joining me today.
Well, thanks very much.
So something people don't know about Crime Stoppers is it's pretty much a volunteer organization. What are some of the positions people can volunteer for?
Well, there's a few things that we have that are volunteer opportunities. Our number one thing is for the board. We are a nonprofit organization, and we are very heavily dependent upon our board members. This comes in the fundraising and some of the organizing and some of the events that we put on. Understand that we don't receive funding, so anything that we are doing in the community where we are providing rewards, that money is raised, and it's done by the board members. So we also have something else that's called Friends of Crime Stoppers, which is where somebody wants to become involved in the program from the point of view of going out to events or helping in fundraising and so on, but they don't want the responsibilities of sitting on a board or the time commitment of sitting on a board.
And in terms of people who want to volunteer, do they need experience in policing, or is it just a neighborhood type of thing?
No, they don't need any experience in policing. An understanding and a familiarity of what happens in policing is probably a great thing to have. That's something that I was able to bring to the table when I got involved in Crime Stoppers. I spent 27 years with the police service as an investigator, having used Crime Stoppers information on a day-to-day basis in some of the investigative roles that I had. I know what the value is, and certainly you can't be involved in the Crime Stoppers program when you're in policing. There's a conflict there. But when I retired from policing and I went on to another occupation, this was an opportunity for me to be able to give back to the program that had provided so much information, so much valuable information to resolving crimes in the community that I worked in, and I worked in this community here in Guelph.
In terms of fundraising with Crime Stoppers, what are some events or things that Crime Stoppers does to help get funds?
Well, our two biggest things are in the spring we have a mulch sale. So May is mulch month for us, and it's something that we have done over the last few years, and it's been very successful, and it does provide us with a fair bit of funding that comes in. And the second thing is September is shredding month, and this one is actually a message about safety as well, in that when you shred your personal confidential information, it precludes that from getting into the criminal system where somebody would exploit that and exploit you and potentially take over something that is near and dear to you because of what they have found in refuse.
It's clear to see that Crime Stoppers does play an important part in policing in the city of Guelph and all over Canada for sure. Why do you think it's important for us to report crime?
I'm sorry, say that again?
Why do you think it's important that people don't just be bystanders and actually go out and report what they see?
I think it's very, very important when you look at what the principles of policing are. In Ontario, we have ascribed to the community policing model, where the police are the community are the police. That was started by Sir Robert Peel many years ago when he was in charge of the London Police Service in London, England. If we are not involved in actively assisting police services in preventing crimes or in resolving crimes, what is it that we are doing as a community? And when you look at the definition of community, it's about everybody working together. It's very, very important, and I think this is a way that Crime Stoppers can absolutely bridge that gulf between police and non-police and do it in a safe way. In today's society, we have a society where sometimes people know things, but they are too afraid to come forward for various different reasons. There's a lack of trust sometimes in the police service, and Crime Stoppers can be that independent, arm's length conduit where it's safe to deal with Crime Stoppers, and Crime Stoppers will deal with the police service and provide that information.
And last question, again, it's clear to see how important Crime Stoppers is for the city of Guelph. What do you think it would be like if we didn't have Crime Stoppers here?
I think there would be a fairly significant difference in the level of resolution of some of the criminal offenses that occur and some of the provincial offenses that occur. I think you'd see some frustration in the population that things are not getting done. Sometimes it can be very difficult to be able to generate the kind of time it creates to be able to create a relationship with somebody who is in an area that can provide information. This is a way of doing it very quickly and very anonymously. I can tell you in my time as a police investigator, and I spent time in investigating everything from a dog bite to homicide, didn't know where the information came from when it came through the Crime Stoppers program, and I didn't care where it came from. The fact that it made a difference in the outcome was the only thing that was important, and that's why I do what I do now.
All right, thank you for everything you do in our city, and thank you for joining me today, Dave.
You're very welcome.
We're going to take a short break here on Guelph Life, but when we come back, we'll have more of our special look at Crime Stoppers Guelph-Wellington. We'll have more Guelph Life after these words. Welcome back to Guelph Life. Our look at Crime Stoppers Guelph-Wellington continues with a very familiar face to our regular viewers. Sarah Bowers-Peter tells us about the program and how they're spreading the word.
Joining me now is someone who's definitely not a stranger to Guelph Life. It's Sarah Bowers-Peter. Thanks for joining me today.
Thanks for having me, Ryan.
So we're meeting in person. It's always great to see you in person. We're talking about Crime Stoppers today. How does Crime Stoppers spread the word here in Guelph-Wellington?
Oh my gosh. Well, here we are at the location behind us. We have a road sign. That campaign was launched earlier this year. We're also doing all kinds of community engagement, whether it's presentations, connecting with our media partners such as yourself, working in partnership with our investigative partners such as Guelph Police Services Key, and just any opportunity that someone might have to come forward and say, hey, let's hear the Crime Stoppers message. We're totally open to doing that.
And talking about community engagement, I remember being in high school and we had the 222 tips presentations, but I'm an old man now. Things are so different. What are other ways people are learning about Crime Stoppers?
Well, again, our media partners are doing a tremendous job. Having the opportunity to talk a couple times a month through Guelph Life is a great way of connecting with the community. We also know that messaging through our police partners, anytime there's a media release that goes out, oftentimes it'll have the Crime Stoppers branding across the bottom. Working with schools and other community organizations to put the message out. Our friends here at Guelph Fire Service has our branding right on their fire trucks. So that's another way that people will see the Crime Stoppers message.
And with community engagement, what is the reaction from the community? I know with some younger people, there isn't a lot of, I wouldn't say trust, but sometimes there isn't trust with the police. Is that true? Or are kids a lot more receptive than sometimes you might think?
I think it's always good to have a refresher for our young people to remind them that being a good community citizen is important to keeping society safe. And as they're growing and maturing, the role they have in keeping their community safe, Crime Stoppers is right there as an opportunity for them. We enjoy a tremendously positive relationship with our investigative partners, whether it's Guelph Police Service or Wellington County OPP, but we know a lot of people don't, and for their own reasons, they may not feel comfortable dealing directly with police. So as that option with Crime Stoppers, anonymously and confidentially, they can provide that information. And we encourage, whether it's young people or people of all ages, to do the right thing and help report crime that's happening in their communities.
And when you do go out there, it does put a face to it's not the police, it's Sarah or Dave or Scott, right?
Yeah.
It's knows that you are people behind this organization.
Absolutely, and I can't say enough. I'm one person, but there's a whole board of directors that is the driving force behind Crime Stoppers Guelph-Wellington. And without them donating their time and talents to the work that we're trying to do, Crime Stoppers Guelph-Wellington wouldn't exist.
So let's get into the process of, okay, I saw something, I want to call. What happens after I call?
So if you call 1-800-222-TIPS, you will speak with a live person. That's an advantage of our system. They'll ask you questions to make sure the information they're getting from you is correct and accurate. And don't be nervous, because we just want to make sure we get the best quality information. That information is then forwarded to investigative partners. We make sure there's no identifying information. There's nothing that could make anyone understand or surmise who the tipster might be. And they have to conduct their investigation. I know a lot of people think, if I call into Crime Stoppers in the morning, in the afternoon, there needs to be an arrest. Well, that only happens on TV. That's not how it works in real life. And we want to make sure that our investigative partners are using the tips correctly. So we do training of our investigative partners. And through that investigative process, they're able to get evidence that supports whether or not the tip information is correct. So we never refer to a tip as evidence, it's always information. Once that arrest has been made, if the arrest is made from the information, the investigator will let us know. And then our board of directors are advised that the tip was successful, and then they have a recommendation as far as what the reward value is. We're never able to reach out to the tipster, unfortunately, so they have to keep reaching back out to us. And if they contact us and we're able to let them know that their information was successful and led to an arrest, we advise them of the amount of their reward, and then we give them specific instructions on how and where to pick up their reward. And I can't share too much more than that publicly, other than to say the rewards are available to our tipsters in a safe public setting, and you've probably been in the vicinity of someone picking up a reward and not known it at the time.
In terms of submitting tips, is it just through the phone number?
No, we also have a web tip option. So that is done by going to our website at csgw.tips, and it's a portal on our website. Without getting too technologically advanced here, you should understand that it's not email driven. There's no way for us to track who you are. There's no way for the tip to be tracked that way either. You're actually putting information into our website, and that is a dedicated software system that's only used by Crime Stoppers programs.
That's great to hear, because I know a lot of millennials and Gen Zs are not really good at talking on the phone, and I think it adds an extra level of anonymity in a way as well.
Well, and we've seen an increase in web tips. Like you say, originally it was just the phone number, and then we evolved with the technology, and we learned that people are embracing providing the web tip. So it's another valid option.
And last question, we can see how much it helps the police services here. What do you think it would be like if we didn't have Crime Stoppers Guelph-Wellington?
Oh, that's a good one. I would say off the top that $39 million of drugs, personal property, and cash would not have been recovered. I would say thousands of people that have sat in on the presentations that we've delivered throughout the years would not be aware of emerging crimes such as human trafficking, hate crime, and fraud. And I would say countless people who have donated their time and talents to the program would not have had the opportunity to contribute to their community. So I'm very glad that Crime Stoppers Guelph-Wellington exists, and I know our investigative partners are as well.
All right, Sarah, thank you for joining me. Always nice seeing you in person.
You too.
And thank you again.
Thank you.
We're going to take another break here on Guelph Life, but when we come back, we'll have more Crime Stoppers and more Sarah when she brings us our Crime of the Week. We'll have that segment and more after the break.
Hi, it's Sarah from Crime Stoppers Guelph-Wellington. Thank you for tuning in today to Guelph Life. Here is this week's Crime of the Week. Sometime before the morning of Tuesday, January 2nd, 2024, a break and enter had occurred at a business located near York Road and Victoria Road in Guelph. Culprits disturbed several items inside the business and stole the keys to 2 cars, 2 motorcycles, and a boat. The vehicles, however, remained on scene. If you have any information about this crime and want to remain anonymous, contact Crime Stoppers by submitting a tip online at csgw.tips or by calling us at 1-800-222-TIPS. If your information is used to help solve a crime, you could be eligible for a cash reward of up to $2,000. January is Crime Stoppers Month, and we invite you to join the Crime Stoppers Guelph-Wellington team. Go to csgw.tips to check out the various volunteer opportunities.
We'll have more Guelph Life and Crime Stoppers Guelph-Wellington after these words. Welcome back to Guelph Life. We'll wrap up this special look at Crime Stoppers Guelph-Wellington with Scott Tracy, Media Relations Coordinator with Guelph Police Service.
I'm here with Scott Tracy to talk to me about Crime Stoppers Guelph-Wellington. Thanks for joining me today.
Absolutely.
So with the Guelph Police Service, how does it work with Crime Stoppers? What is the relationship between the two?
So the important thing to remember is that we are not Crime Stoppers, and Crime Stoppers is not the police. There's a very distinct line between the two. So they're one of our partners, and likewise. Essentially what happens is Crime Stoppers will receive the information through their channels. They pass that on to Guelph Police Service. We at no time, of course, know who provided that information. It's completely anonymous. Our investigators use that information. It's part of the investigative process, the information that is received. And then that information is, of course, passed on to the investigators, and they conduct the investigation and ultimately lay charges if that's warranted.
And how important is this relationship for the police here in Guelph?
Oh, it's crucial. We know there are a lot of people in the community that have information that is helpful to us as we're investigating things or indeed, trying to prevent crime. This provides a method for them to be able to provide that information to the police confidently that they won't be identified and can pass along what they know without being identified as the source of that information.
And why do you think it's important for people in Guelph and all over the country to report crime?
Certainly, we rely on those that have the information to be able to solve these crimes, and as well, there is a preventive aspect. If someone knows that maybe someone is thinking of committing a crime or is in a position where they may be doing that, to pass on that information as well, so that as the name says, we can stop the crime and not only solve crimes that have happened.
From the perspective of someone who wants to report something, do you think people are sometimes scared to do it, or it is anonymous? So, is there still some sort of fear? Do you think for some people?
Well, certainly there are a number of reasons that people don't. They might fear recrimination from those who are responsible for the crime. They just may not want to be part of the process, the court process and so on. So this does provide an avenue for them to be able to pass that on and be confident that they've done their part to assist the police and the administration of justice without, being in a position where they have to be part of the court process, for example.
And it's easy to see that Crime Stoppers is very important to the city of Guelph. How do you think it would be if we didn't have Crime Stoppers here?
Well, certainly we do receive a lot of information from Crime Stoppers and through the tips that they receive. So our ability to investigate crimes and be aware of things going on in the community would be significantly diminished without Crime Stoppers and the information they provide.
All right, thank you, Scott, for joining me today.
Yeah, thank you.
Crime Stoppers Guelph-Wellington launched a new campaign, spreading the word about the organization.
We're launching our new look signs. I don't know if you've seen any of our old signs around where they're a little plain with white with just the names on them. So we've decided to change it up a little bit, refresh it, because the old signs have been around for 10 plus years. So this way it gives just a new look, new opportunity, and we also have several different signs for potential sponsors to choose from. So I think hopefully it's a little more eye-catching than some of our other ones. Crime Stoppers, it's a charitable organization and allows people the opportunity, because some people, a lot of people see crimes and maybe they're not comfortable reporting it directly to the police, or they don't really want to get involved. So Crime Stoppers is a perfect avenue because the key thing to our thing is for people to remain anonymous. So it's 100% anonymous, 100% confidential. So it just gives people the opportunity. They call in to our 1-800 number, or they can do a web tip, and they can present the information that they have. We then give it as an intermediary to the police department that they can work it, and the person stays 100% anonymous the whole time.
We have with Guelph-Wellington Crime Stoppers. They do a great service for the community and provide the police anonymous tips that are very, very helpful in our investigations. We would encourage anyone to call Crime Stoppers or the police if they have anything they wish to report, and if they wish to remain anonymous, we'd encourage people to use Crime Stoppers. I would say it's a great partnership in that it gives members of the public an opportunity to report things anonymously that sometimes people may not feel comfortable leaving their information. So it is a way for the public to still report information to the police about a specific investigation or a complaint they wish to have looked into, and they have that opportunity to use Crime Stoppers to remain anonymous, and it's a great partnership, and we do follow up on those tips.
County of Wellington, through our Police Services Board, supports the Crime Stoppers program, provides some, it's largely funded through donations, but it do provide some sort of logistical support, office space, that type of thing, because we see it as an opportunity to empower our residents to be part of keeping their communities safe. And it just seems like a natural fit.
So we're always looking for community-minded local businesses. Myself personally, I also sponsor signs through my business up in Mount Forest. So yeah, and you'll see the taglines at the bottom. So without those supports, we couldn't do this, because I mean the signs are expensive to put up, and so with our local businesses sponsoring, we do have several signs in the work. We have other locations throughout City of Guelph and County of Wellington, all the way up from Guelph to Mount Forest.
Partnered with Crime Stoppers now, gosh, we were trying to figure that out, probably going on over 10 years. Great local support, just happy to be part of this program with the new signs, and it just helps promote safety in our communities, which I think everyone wants. Yeah, just overall happy just to be a partner with Crime Stoppers to help promote this safety program and the great work that they do in our local communities.
We live in a world where there's all kinds of messages all around us, be it social media, conventional TV, radio, newspapers, if anybody still reads them. But having a sign that somebody sees helps remind people that yes, they do have the opportunity to use Crime Stoppers to report on things that they see in their community.
It's a reminder. It gives people, a place to go with the numbers and the websites, but it's also, I think it's, for lack of a better term, brand awareness. It's out there so that everybody kind of sees it, knows that it's community oriented, and it's a way to support your community and to fight crime. And because we're all, everybody on our board member, we're there, we're all volunteers, and we want to keep our community safe for ourselves, our families, and our kids. And so the more information you get out there and more opportunity people have to report crimes and help, the better off we all are.
That wraps up this edition of Guelph Life. For everyone here at the show, I'm Andrew Wood, saying thanks for watching. We'll be back next time with more on Guelph. Until then, take care of yourself.